Hi guys, welcome to Preparation for Success and Health. I'm going to give you a quick rundown from start to finish on how to uh, brainstorm your second assignment through to researching for the second assignment and writing notes when you're researching to help you to effectively reference when you are writing an assignment, through to then working out how to plan how to write your assignment properly using the graphic organizers that I've shown you, and also showing you how to in-text reference as well as do a reference list at the end and what those are. This video may take around 5 to 10 minutes and I will try and show you where I'm finding all of this information as well. So if you're unsure about anything that we're covering in the course in regards to researching, referencing, how to formulate and write your assignment, then sit back, relax, take notes and have a look at how I would do it. Okay, so firstly what I would do is I would go to our, I would have a look at what the assignment is all about, and I would go to where the assignment is located. So if you have a look at my screen, I go down to Module 5, and in Module 5 I'll talk about the second assessment piece. I also talk about it in where it says Proof of Learning Prep for Success and Health, submit here, and that is actually where you will submit your second assessment piece. So you'll actually submit it down here where it says Submit Assignment. So it tells you what you need to be looking for in your second assessment piece, and this will help you to formulate what you need to research, as well as what keywords to use when you're researching online, as well as what to put in your assessment piece when you are planning out your assignment. So the sorts of things that you need to think about are: what is the health topic or problem? Who is it affecting and how is it affecting them? When treating, researching, solving the health problem, what health professionals are involved and how are they involved? And what's the most up-to-date current treatments, what is being done, or what is the research that's being done about the health topic or problem that you've chosen? You do need to reference in this. Now, I will show you how I go from researching a topic and using somebody else's words and ideas and then translating them into my own, and then from there showing you how to reference appropriately and how I've got that information on how to reference appropriately, because I use guides when I am referencing. So yes, you need at least 3 separate in-text references, and then you reference those in a reference list at the end of your assignment. You also need to provide a PowerPoint presentation. It does not need you to have your voice over the top of the PowerPoint presentation. You only need to just do a PowerPoint presentation and make sure you have the references of whatever information you've used in that PowerPoint presentation at the end of the PowerPoint presentation as well. So that includes any photos that you have used in the PowerPoint presentation or pictures. If they're not your photos, or even if they are, you should still be referencing where you've got them from. So what I did was I pretended that I was one of you guys, and I thought, all right, if I was to choose a health topic or problem, what would it be? And how would I go from formulating my ideas through to writing the assignment? So what I did first was I brainstormed. Now this is covered in Module 2 in the course. I write my topic in the middle. So my topic in the middle is Autism Spectrum Disorder, or ASD, is my health topic or problem. And then I wrote who, what, when, where, why, how. And so then I went through all sorts of questions like who is affected by ASD, what percentage of Australian population, who treats autism, what are the signs and symptoms, what is ASD, I need to explain it, what is currently being done about it, what current research or latest treatments are available, when are people often diagnosed, when do parents start to notice or suspect their child may have ASD, where do people go to get help, why does the community need to know more or be more educated about ASD, and how is it treated, or how do people with ASD go with day-to-day living. So those were the quick brainstorming questions or ideas I came up with, and you should always do that at the start of doing any assessment piece. You brainstorm. So it's the 5 W's and the H: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And this helps you to start to understand what it is that you then need to research in order to formulate your assignment. Okay, and you'll notice that a lot of my questions that I have written down in my brainstorming are also written in this second assessment piece as well. So I go from there and I would go, all right, I'm going to figure out what it is. I'm going to do a bit of research now because I'm going to pretend I don't know anything about autism, but I'm interested and fascinated by it. So I'm going to go to Google. Now you can use Google Advanced if you like. And I actually typed in, I'll just show you, Autism Spectrum Disorder Australian Statistics, because I don't want to know about autism in America or the UK. I wanted to know about autism in Australia. So that was what I typed in. Now I could use my Boolean search and do the inverted commas and around the autism and statistics, which means that it will only then search for those words in the inverted commas. I've chosen not to because I just wanted to see what would come up if I typed that in without any Boolean search operators. And quite a lot of things came up actually. Notice here there are scholarly articles for autism spectrum disorder and Australian statistics. Keep in mind that if they, this is always a good starting place to have a look for scholarly articles. And then don't ever pay for a scholarly article. You have access to our library systems. So what you can also do is, I'll show you, I'll just click on this. Say if you wanted this, you won't need it. Identification and evaluation of children with autism spectrum disorder. Say you wanted that article, click on it, get the citation. So you might even just do, you might even cut and paste this title and then go into the library and search for it in our library database. That way you're not having to, here's the library up there, and then you can paste the title into here and press search. Now it will ask you for your student number and password. Your student number would have got emailed to you, and your password is your generic lowercase s with day, month, year, and then the little hash symbol at the end if it asks you for your username and password before it will give you any suggestions. So that's if you ever want to find a journal article or a scholarly article but you don't want to pay for it out on Google, then you can come in and search our library for those articles. I'm not doing that today. I just wanted to show you that. I found the one that I thought was really useful was this one here, and it's got a really funny number at the start, and then it says Autism in Australia 2012 Bureau of Statistics. So Australian Bureau of Statistics is a fantastic site for you to use, and it is incredibly reliable because obviously it's a government website and they provide statistics about Australia and lots of things to do with the population of Australia. So obviously it has a whole range of different information that I'll need to answer some of my questions in my assignment. One of those is what is autism? So it says it there in that first line. It also talks about the prevalence of autism. So prevalence means like how many people have it. So it's said, and when you're looking at percentages and numbers, you need to look at how much of the population did this, out of the numbers of the whole total Australian population, how many were surveyed. So how you find that out is you can actually have a look about this release or data sources and definitions. So it will actually tell you where they've got all the data from and out of what percentage of the population they've got it from. And that's really important because there's no point saying that, out of the whole population of Australia, 115,400 Australians have autism. When did they have it? And is it out of the whole population of Australia or is it only out of part of the population of Australia? So you need to have a look at those sorts of things. So it does have a look at other factors like autism in education, labour force participation, those sorts of things. When you find a source that you know is going to give you some information that you're looking for your assignment, you then use what I have told you to use, is the Notes TM template. So on this template, you would then, if I was to take notes from this, I would, just bear with me. If I was to take notes from the Australian Bureau of Statistics website, I would type the date that I took the notes. I would then use my referencing guide, which I'll show you in a moment, to type in the correct reference of the Australian Bureau of Statistics for this. Now, this is a catalogue number as well, which you will need to have in your reference. And if you have a look at the referencing guide, it will show you how to do that. And then I would do either page number, or in this case, there are no pages in this Australian Bureau of Statistics release. So you would do paragraph numbers and perhaps the title of the page that you are on as well in this section here. Now, citation means like a direct reference. Okay, so I might say the 2012 SDAC showed an estimated 115,400 Australians, or 0.5%, had autism. I might also, and then I would put a thought next to that about what I thought. Like, that's a huge percentage of the population that has autism. And then what I might then write is 79% increase on 64,400 people in 2009. So that's quite a significant increase from 2009 to 2012. So I might put there, when I would cite that, why is it such a significant increase? So you're starting to pose your own questions so that you can then summarize these notes at the end. So this is how you're supposed to take notes. So you know that this is not your own words in this citation. This is somebody else's words, but you know where you've got it from so that it can help you direct reference. Okay? So that's what you need to use, the Notes TM template. And where you would find that would be, just bear with me, in this section here. So in Module 2, where it says note taking and note making for research and reading, and you go to the Notes TM template and you take notes that way. Okay, so you know that you're not plagiarizing somebody else's work. Then once we've taken notes and we've researched a heap of different sites, so this Autism in Australia on the Australian Bureau of Statistics would be one of my sites that I would research. And I might then find a couple of other sites as well to back up what I was going to write about. Then what I need to do is I then need to figure out how to organise my assignment. We have given you a graphic organiser in the course which talks about the overview of an academic essay. So with your introduction, you need to cover the topic of what you're going to be talking about throughout the whole of the assignment. So I wrote down briefly what I would cover if I was to cover this topic of autism. In my introduction, I would talk about what is autism, how many people it affects in Australia, and these would be brief, like today I'm going to talk about the topic of autism spectrum disorder, or ASD. Autism spectrum disorder affects this many people in Australia. These many people are affected by autism in Australia. These health professionals, I will also speak about the health professionals that are involved in treating autism spectrum disorder. Lastly, I'll talk about what is the most up-to-date treatments or research currently being conducted in regards to autism spectrum disorder. So you need to be using your linking words when you're writing your introductory paragraph. And each sentence that you do will cover a paragraph that you are going to be covering in your assignment. So the first sentence would be about my first paragraph, then the second sentence in my introduction would be about the second paragraph, then the third sentence would be about the third paragraph, and the fourth sentence would be about the fourth paragraph. Okay, your conclusion then restates all of that you've said in your introduction. You don't introduce any new information in your conclusion. And then after your conclusion is where you'd have your reference list as well. So then my paragraph 1 would be, I would talk about what is autism. I would explain what it is. In my second paragraph, I would then talk about who is affected by autism and current Australian statistics regarding autism. My third paragraph, I would then talk about what health professionals are involved. And my fourth paragraph would be what is the most up-to-date treatments or research being conducted. And then your concluding paragraph. Within each of those, and not the introductory paragraph usually, but within each of the other paragraphs, you would have your in-text referencing. So whether that's a direct reference, as in somebody else's words or ideas, where you would have it in inverted commas with the author, the year, and the page number, or whether it's an indirect reference where it's somebody else's idea but it's your own words that you've completely changed, in which case at the end or at the start of that indirect reference you would have the author's last name and the year that was published. So that's sort of how you would set your assignment out in a nutshell. From there, when we are going to start to write our assignment, I would use my notes that I've made in my Notes TM. I would structure my assignment, so I would have my assignment ready to go and I'd start typing in my structure on this page. And then I would, as I was going through and I wanted to cite something that I had used in my Notes TM, that I'd gotten from my Notes TM, I would then make sure I was using one of these guides. So this is in Module 3, number 10, it says referencing. Can you see I have 2 referencing guides here? I don't care whether you use Harvard or APA, you need to use one of these guides. Do not try and think that you can type in to Word and use the words referencing or anything like that. It doesn't work, okay? It stuffs up your referencing and you need to learn how to do this properly, and the only way to do it is to use one of these guides. And if you have a look, it tells you about how to reference, why to reference, how to paraphrase, so putting somebody else's words or ideas into your own words. It tells you about direct quoting or paraphrasing, information prominent direct quotes, author prominent, which means you put the author's name first before the information, all of that sort of stuff. And it goes, if you've got a quote bigger than 40 or more words, here's how you set it out. It also talks about how to use, how to format your referencing list. I haven't yet had a student that's formatted their reference list appropriately according to the guidelines. So please read this carefully and format your reference list appropriately. It talks about how to reference journal articles and what we mean when we're talking about journal articles and the different parts in the reference for a journal article. But the main thing that you'll need to use is it gives you exact information for if you have a book with one author, here's how you might in-text reference it. Obviously, you're not going to put this person's author's name. You put whatever the author is that you have for the book, the year, the page number. So it shows you how to direct reference or indirect reference, and it shows you how to set it out in the reference list at the end of your assignment. And it shows you for books with more than one author, multiple authors, multiple works, primary source, secondary source, all sorts of different sources of information, volumes in other volumes of work, books that are electronic only, edited ebooks, like it keeps going through. Then it goes to journal articles, then it will, YouTube clips are in here, study guides, lecture notes, documents available on Moodle, PowerPoint slides. If there was something in a PowerPoint slide that I had given you, you could reference that. government publications, government reports, websites, syllabus, legislation, documents on the World Wide Web with dates and authors and sponsor given. So, and then if it's got no sponsor but it's not, or it's got a sponsor but not dated, or if it's got, so wikis, YouTubes, blog posts, messages, you name it, magazines, newspapers, online newspapers, and the list goes on. Please use this, and if you're unsure about this, then contact myself, and I can step you through. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Lastly, references. I need to stress with you about what references are. So I am not asking you for a bibliography. A reference list is a list of all of the sources of information that you have actually cited in your assignment. Okay, so the authors that you have actually used their words or their ideas in your assignment, you would then put them in a reference list at the end of your assignment. So a bibliography is a list of all of the resources you read in order to get to the information that you got to, whether you cited them or not. I don't want a bibliography. I need a reference list. If you're unsure about what a reference list is, then you need to go to the referencing guides I told you about just then, and it will give you that information. Any questions, give me a call or email me, and I can explain further. Good luck.